Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update. I'm SuperDerek, and we've got a bit of news to talk about today, starting with a couple of really awesome bits of information coming out of Square Enix. So let's go ahead and reel it back a little bit and start with, remember last week when I was talking about that countdown timer that was on this website for The World Ends With You from Square Enix? And I didn't really know what this timer was gonna mean. Nobody really knew, but I told you if it was something good, I would let you know. Well, this is me letting you know that The World Ends With You got a trailer for the anime, and that's what happened. That was really cool. So World Ends With You trailer for the anime came out when the countdown ended. Super cool, looks good. And then a little bit while after that, they also announced a new trailer for a game called Neo, The World Ends With You. And it is a follow-up, a sequel to the original release of The World Ends With You, which is pretty amazing. The new trailer for this new game that's coming to Switch and PlayStation 4 could not look any more like the original aesthetic from the DS release from like 14 years ago. This thing looks so good. It's an extremely faithful update to the original visuals, and the music is just amazing as always. Like, I mean, there were a lot of people who got really excited when they saw The World Ends With You show up in the new Kingdom Hearts 3, and I was among them. And now, finally, like, we're seeing an actual console release. And not just like, oh, it's coming to the Switch, but it's also coming to the PlayStation 4. Oh, God, it looks great. And it's also been confirmed that this is going to be a sequel. It's been confirmed by Tetsuya Nomura on his Twitter account. Now, according to both the English and Japanese announcement trailers, the game is going to be coming in summer of 2021, which is so nice. So nice to hear that. Now, also, just on Saturday, Square Enix announced another little bit of information. They had a follow-up announcement for a new game that they've announced. The SaGa Frontier HD Remaster is coming out here also in summer of 2021. And this is really exciting because SaGa Frontier as a game that is basically just... It's one of the most renowned and favored of the SaGa titles that have been put out. So it's really exciting that this is getting a full remaster. The visuals so far look amazing. It is coming to PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Steam, and also iOS and Android. So keep your eyes out for that one in summer of 2021. Two amazing announcements I did not expect from Square Enix anytime soon. So that's just fantastic. Now, we also got a release date update for Maglum Lord. We talked about this one a long while back, a month or two ago, where it was the creators of the Summon Night series they put together their own game, a new game that's not in the series of Summon Night, but it is something else. And it's called Maglum Lord, and based on what I'm seeing, it looks pretty neat. It's going to be coming out in Japan on March 18th for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, however, an English release date has not yet been announced, nor even confirmed, so it's hard to say whether we'll be getting this or not, since it is a very small studio, but knock on wood, I mean, it looks pretty cool, and the trailer looks pretty neat. Actually, it's not even the trailer; it's like the opening movie for the whole game. So that's pretty exciting. In other news, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, we've been talking about that here leading up to its release. Well, it's already been doing extremely well. It's already sold over 500,000 sales so far, and is doing very well in Japan, and it might just be worth a second look if you happen to miss out on this. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is a polygonal side-scrolling action RPG. It's fully modeled and it's not hand-drawn sprites or anything. It looks really cool so far, I think. All the gameplay that I'm seeing so far looks really good, and it's apparently doing really well in Japan. It's getting very popular, and it might just be worth a second look if this one somehow passed you by. I would give it another look here, and as apparently it's a relatively short game that can be wrapped up in about 30 to 40 hours from what I'm seeing. Now that brings us to the day's JRPG weekly forecast. Starting with Thursdays, December 3rd, we've got Shiren the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate, which is a roguelike RPG from Spike Chunsoft that's going to be coming from the Vita over to the Nintendo Switch and to PC as well. Also, we've got Morbid, the Seven Acolytes, which is another action RPG, a horror themed action RPG from Still Running Entertainment, and that's coming to PC and Nintendo Switch as well. Following that, we've got Death Tales, which is an action RPG where you play as the Grim Reaper, or a Grim Reaper rather, and that is coming to Nintendo Switch. And also on Thursday, we've got Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is an action-adventure game from Ubisoft that's basically like if Breath of the Wild had more flying and aerial combat, and I think it looks pretty darn neat. And that is also coming to all current and next-gen consoles, and also PC and Stadia too, if you care about that. And then on Friday, December 4th, we've got a couple of games that have been long awaited, including Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. That name is a mouthful. The enhanced version of the Switch version of the game that is now coming to PlayStation 4 and PC and Xbox One. So it's got that fully orchestral soundtrack and all the extra side quests and the 2D mode. It looks amazing. I think this would be the way to experience it if you haven't already experienced the games as they are. Now also we've got Fire Emblem, the Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light. This is the very first Fire Emblem that was ever released over on Super Famicom that was never released in the West until now. It is now coming to Nintendo Switch, and that is on Friday the 4th, and that again is also going to be super cheap from what I understand, unless you're getting like the special edition, which sold out super quick and is also pretty darn expensive. Now that brings us to the day's question of the week. And my question for you guys is, what is the last game that you played that you just were not able to put it down? It's just something that you could play it for hours and hours and hours and you didn't even see the time go by. For me personally, that's going to be the Trails in the Sky series that I've been playing through lately over on Twitch. And normally when I play, it's a very structured time because I like to keep a pretty strict schedule on Twitch and set time aside for it and time aside for real life stuff. However, when I've been playing the Trails games over the last several months, I find that I more often want to start playing early, and I'm more likely to start or keep playing a little later than usual. It's a series that's really captured my whole attention, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun to keep playing. So I'm kind of curious though, what are some of the games that you have just been playing through lately that you most recently haven't been able to put down? Something that you just like wanted to play for hours and hours and hours. Anything in particular come to mind? Let us know down in the comments below. And thank you for your time, everybody. I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me. Have a great week, everybody.